welcoming you to a life of awareness. The Presence Project is excited for you to join us for today's podcast with your host, Paul Kerzner.
Hello and welcome to Are You Being Present? I am so happy to have you here with me. This is our first episode. It is a very exciting time for me, for all of us, where I get to spend a little bit of time talking about one of the most important facets of life, being present. So why did I create this podcast? What is the purpose of it? You might be wondering. Well, the answer is that I wanted to take time to talk directly to you about what being present means to me, to provide you with tools and tips on a weekly basis so that you could be reminded of the importance of being in the here and now. With that being said, let me just take a moment to properly introduce myself. My name is Paul Kerzner. I am a licensed acupuncturist and herbalist. I practice in the great state of Arizona in Scottsdale. I provide my patients with acupuncture, Chinese herbs, nutritional guidance. I do a lot of cupping. I provide lifestyle coaching, and I specialize in the treatment of anxiety, stress, and depression. Over the past 2.5 years, I've treated close to 600 patients, and I've had a real unique opportunity and perspective. One that I was able to see something that has been troubling so many people. Being that I specialize in emotional challenges, I've been able to really get into anxiety, stress, and depression and what I perceive to be the root issues. I don't claim to be a psychiatrist or psychologist or therapist, but I have spent time listening to patients talk about their troubles. And what I have found is that many people, including myself at times, have been fully enthralled with memories of the past and worries of the future. The truth is that the memories that we have of the past are filtered and inaccurate. The only way that they would be objective is if we had a film crew following us around, and then we could watch that footage at a later date. But we don't, and we can't. So we have to depend upon our memory, which changes depending upon our emotional state at that moment. I'm not here to detract from your memories or my memories at all. But what I am saying is that it's impossible for them to be truly accurate. And if that's the case, why would we allow them to create emotional responses? Why would we look at our memories as factual? And then we worry about the future. We worry about a time that hasn't even happened yet. But we plan, we worry, we prepare for something that will never happen most of the time. And the most interesting facet of the future is that we inject past worries onto future events, creating a loop. So the truth is that memories of the past and worries of the future are illusions. They're not real. They're in our heads. And because they're illusions, we have to let them go. The only thing that we have, the only thing that really matters is the present moment. And I want to stress that, and I want to say that again. The only thing that really matters is the present moment. I'm not saying that we should live frivolously or discount things that have happened to us. Quite the contrary. What I am saying is that the only thing that we have any control over, the only thing that's tangible, that we can feel, that we can touch, that we can hear, that's real, is the here and now, is the present moment. With that being said, everyone in our society at some point during their day, during their lives, gets pulled out of the present moment, becomes focused on a past memory or a future worry, and that takes them completely out of the moment of being present, of enjoying their lives, of truly enjoying the potential that exists when we're present. And so we have to awaken to the fact that no longer shall we be victims of our own minds, victims of thoughts of the past and worries of the future. We can take control, and we can do this by asking ourselves one singular question. One question that has the ability to shift your state of being, shift you into the present moment. Ask yourself, am I being present? When thoughts pop into your head, when worries pop into your head, ask yourself, does this have anything to do with the present moment? 99% of the time, the answer will be no. And if it is a no, then you have to let it go. You have to look at the thoughts streaming through your head as clouds in the sky, which don't need to be chased at all. You can honor them and validate them, but you don't have to chase them. And again, if they have nothing to do with the present moment, why are you letting them dominate you? Why are you allowing these thoughts to alter your present state of being? This is something that we need to take time with. We have to look at our thought process. We have to look at our behaviors and wonder what is going on here and why are we doing the things we're doing. You don't want to be an automaton being reactive to whatever pops into your head. That is not the way at all. You can take charge. You can confront these thoughts, these worries. You can choose. And that is an important thing that I really want to discuss, and we'll get back to at a later date, is that you have a choice. You do not have to be a victim. You do not have to be a rudderless ship at sea. If you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to learn about what it really means to be present, if you're willing to create a mindfulness practice and meditate and journal, then yes, you really can choose. You really will have a way of handling your emotions and your thoughts. No longer will you just be that automaton. No longer will you have to be so reactive. No longer will there be so much collateral damage based on your reaction, your emotional reaction to a thought of the past or a worry of the future. And wouldn't that be nice? But it's important to note that being present and striving to be present is an ongoing task. And it never ends. Because life is full of challenges, it's full of peaks and valleys. It's full of events, people, places, and things that are unexpected. And so we have to rise to the occasion, and sometimes we'll fall short, and that's all right. It's okay. The goal is to do our best, and our best changes from moment to moment. At this time, before I wrap things up, I just want to take a moment to talk about what the purpose of this podcast is, as well as the Facebook group. The intention is to raise awareness of the present moment. The podcast will touch upon different assets and facets. We'll bring in guests. We'll have different topics. We'll ask questions. We'll present answers. We'll challenge you. I'll challenge myself to remember how important it is to be present. And now I want to take this time to thank you all for listening to the very first podcast of Are You Being Present? I'm really happy with how things are progressing. I'm really happy to be in the present moment with you. It's an honor. If you get a moment, please take some time to go on iTunes and rate our podcast. Maybe a little quick summary of what it means to you and how it's helped you. That would really mean a lot to us. And also take a look at our Facebook group. You can access it by going to www.areyoubeinpresent.com. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for listening to the Are You Being Present podcast, brought to you by the Presence Project. Remember, you have a choice. Choose to be present.